Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I thought we'll do a little update video on my beloved M2 Competition because it hasn't been on the channel for a while. Obviously, you know I've ordered a M3, but that's still about 4.5, 5 months away. So I've still got a lot of quality time with this car, a couple of track days, etc. I'm actually heading off to see my good friend Jack at AutoID to get one last small little modification done on this car that he's actually giving to me as a little present. You might notice that my car has got the original 788 wheels back on it, and that's because they're clad with some brand new Michelin Sport 4S tyres, which are perfect for this time of year. We'll also check out some new exhaust tips. Well, I say new, I put them on during the first lockdown. Mike from Motech sent them over to me, the new Remus exhaust tips. We'll have a quick look at them. Okay, before we start, I want to say a massive shout out and thanks to Berkeley Detailing for ceramic coating my beautiful 763M wheels. When I got these from BMW, I didn't get them coated. I did a lot of miles on them, including 2 heavy track days, and in fact, there was a real build-up of tar and rubber and all sorts on them. He's just given them back to me. They are absolutely spotless. They look better than they did when they were new. I claim to know a fair amount about Michelin tyres in particular, but I'm definitely no expert. My good friend Jonathan Benson is, from Tyre Reviews. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel, so if you're into your tyres, head over and check out his videos. He tests not just Michelin's, everything extensively. Let's start with the Cup 2 as I've got it here. Cup 2 is a very, very good summer high performance tyre. I tend to use it on tracks because it's fantastic under severe loads. It deals with temperature really well, and it gives you really, really good grip, especially in the dry. As you can see, it's very close to a slick tyre. The outside edge is actually a massive contact patch with just some small grooves in it. And that just gives you effectively a much bigger contact patch on the road, which is exactly what you want when you're after grip. A bit like a Formula 1 slick, but just like a Formula 1 slick, when it rains, they're completely useless. Now this obviously has grooves in it, but a lot less than something like this Sport 4S. So this can deal with water, but it doesn't like too much standing water, and it's certainly not the best performing when it gets really wet. Something else with this particular tyre is the actual compound. So the compound's quite soft, again, to give you really good grip. So it doesn't necessarily last that long. And in fact, when they're new, they've only got about 5mm of tread depth in them, whereas most tyres have got between 7 and 8. So it's less tread to start with and a softer compound. So it really doesn't last long. You're not going to get more than a couple of thousand miles or hard miles out of a Cup 2. Something else that's different about Cup 2 over any kind of other regular sort of tyre is its construction, its sidewalls especially, are a lot stiffer and stronger. So just give you slightly better handling dynamics. When you turn in, it's the sidewall, especially on the front tyres, that you feel initially as the car sort of weight transfers. So these are really, really good for that sort of driving. The M2 Competition actually comes with Pilot Supersports as an OEM tyre. My one now has the Sport 4S. The construction of this compared to the Cup 2, well, we've got much deeper tread in it, and much more cuts in the actual rubber, which basically repels water a lot better. So this can go through much deeper standing water, get rid of it, cuts through the water and onto the tarmac. These are actually quite incredible in wet weather, like really amazing. The first time I tried these on an Alpina many years ago, I couldn't actually believe the difference between this 4S and a Supersport. Now, because there's more cuts and grooves in this particular rubber, it doesn't perform as well as the Cup 2 because obviously when this is under massive load, the rubber blocks tend to move around a bit more, so you don't get the positive feeling that you do through the steering. If you could only have one tyre for the whole year for your car, these are the ones to have, because they will literally do rain and shine and track days and everything in between. Where they kind of stop working, and this is true for most high performance road tyres on sports cars, is under about 6 or 7 degrees. Once you get below 6 or 7 degrees, the rubber on this particular tyre starts getting very hard and therefore almost plasticky, and just doesn't find grip on tarmac anymore. Winter tyres. This is actually a brand new Michelin Pilot Sport Alpine 4 tyre. They actually do an Alpine 5 now, which is even better. Now, I've run some of these before on my M2. About a year ago, I took it out to the Nürburgring and they were just fantastic. They transformed a rear-wheel drive car that's normally completely useless in snow and ice into the most unbelievable winter weapon. It was really, really good fun. The tyres, well, how are they different to, let's say, the Pilot Sport 4S? Well, as you can see, there's even more grooves and cuts in these, and there's lots of sort of micro cuts. And what that allows the tread pattern to do is move around a lot more. So it's a softer compound rubber, once again, and it's a different compound rubber. It's actually designed to stay soft in colder conditions. So when it's 0 degrees and this is rock hard and this is rock hard, this is still soft. And in fact, it's not until you get below about -10, I believe, where these rubber blocks start cooling down. So it's always soft and therefore always finding grip, even in the coldest of conditions. It obviously repels and gets rid of water and slush really well, but it's also designed to pick up snow. So if you didn't know, when you roll a snowball down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger because snow sticks to snow, and that's how these winter tyres work and give you grip in the snow. They attract snow to the tyre, and then the snow effectively gives you the grip. So the snow and snow works and gets you moving forward or slowing you down or giving you some grip in the corners. It's really, really amazing. Again, the construction of the tyre is probably a little bit softer than both of these, and that you definitely feel if I whack some winters onto my M2 Competition, especially coming off a set of Cup 2s, so the two extremes, you notice the car feels a little bit wayward, but that's just the car moving around on the actual tyre sidewall and the rubber blocks itself. But obviously the colder it gets, the harder the blocks get, and the more normal, if you like, the car feels. Okay, we're now around the back of the car. Just wanted to point out these new exhaust tips that I've got. As most of you know, I've got a Remus axle back system on this car. I've also got a mid-res Elite by Remus, and Motech, obviously, Michelin Motech. Now, these new tips are actually the entry-level tip, if you like. So, although Remus exhausts aren't affordable for everyone, you know, they're not the cheapest things on the planet, but they are very good quality. Mike now offers you these exclusive Remus tips that actually bring the price down of all of their systems pretty much. They're almost OEM looking, but bigger, and yeah, they kind of just blend into the back of the car. As you know, I like my car to look special, but not too showy, and I think these are a really good sort of combination. Okay, here we go. Nice cold start coming up. That's just a 2000 RPM because the car's very cold, but as you can see and as you can hear, it sounds pretty good. I actually live to the west of London, and Jack and AutoID are based out to the east of London in Essex. I've just spent about an hour on the M25, which is the very boring motorway that circulates London, and now I find myself on a really cool little B road, which is where this car really excels. Now it's really greasy out there. These tyres are just epic. Just finding grip absolutely everywhere. Never fails to put a smile on my face, this car. Never ever. Just a brilliant, brilliant bit of kit. Okay guys, you join me here at the AutoID headquarters For those of you that are new to the channel, you probably don't know that Jack and I go back a long way. In fact, I met Jack in April 2016 when I picked up my first M2, and he in fact had just started AutoID back then. Although he runs a business that's very close to my heart, we are very good friends off camera. I just love the stuff that he does. Every time I come down here, it grows, his team grow, and it's just really good to see because he's such a good, hard-working lad. I'm getting a couple of extra bits added to my M2 Competition. I already have some AutoID carbon on here. So these side fender blades are carbon. I had these fitted about a year ago actually. Came down here. Check that video out if you haven't seen it already. And these lovely carbon fibre door mirror caps that I actually fitted during lockdown, so about 6 months ago or so. Now we're around the back of the car, let's just have a look at some of the things we're going to get fitted. So the first one being this lovely carbon fibre shark fin, and it actually just mounts straight on top of the existing one up there, so there's no fitting involved essentially, and when I put this car back to stock in about 4 months time, this would just easily peel off. There's some sticky pads inside. It's a beautiful piece of carbon fibre, super lightweight, and it looks really good when it's on the car, so we'll have a look at that shortly. Something else I get requested or asked about a lot on social media, especially Instagram, is when am I going to cover up my reflectors around the back? And I've seen lots of fellow M2 Competition owners use these products here, Asexon, I think they're pronounced, and they're really nice. They're just like black fillers, if you like, that replace the reflectors, so they pop out and these pop in. But when I say pop out and pop in, it's not as easy as that. You have to actually access them behind the actual rear wheel arch. It's easier if the car's up on a jack, etc. So I'm not going for these ones just because it'll make it easier when I put the car back to stock. We're actually going to go for some Team Blackline stickers. So these literally just stick on top of the existing reflectors. When you want to put it back to stock, you just peel them off. So yeah, really nice solution for covering those up if you don't want to go down the proper route, I guess you'd say. Right, before we wrap these on, let's just meet Jack, have a quick look at some of the new products they've got for the M2 Competition, and then you will see what these are like once they've been fitted to the car.
So we've got some exciting stuff to show you guys today. Now that Joe's down here, we thought we'd show a couple of products that we're working on, one of which I've not actually shown anyone yet, so I'm going to shoot back and go and grab that and show you guys that. I'll let this speak for itself. That is a perfect one-of-one rep of the genuine M2 CS bonnet.
Wow, I'm going to have to step in here. I haven't got a mic, so I'm going to have to speak up because, well, I just need to have a look at this thing. Wow.
So a couple of headline stats. It's full pre-preg carbon fibre, which just basically means it's built to last, it's really light, it's really strong. Speaking of lightness, the OEM bonnet's about 18 kilos. This is about half that. It's about 50% of the weight, so you can pick that up with one hand. It's really light. What you'll find with a lot of the aftermarket bonnets is that they'll go with the carbon on the top so it looks nice, and then they'll cheap out. But this is full carbon all the way through.
Wow. Wow.
You got the herringbone weave as well through the middle. So another thing that's really popular down here is the CS spoiler, and it's so popular in fact that people have been asking us if they would be able to do a pre-preg carbon fibre version, just like the bonnet we just showed you, like the caps that we make as well, and also like the shark fin. So we've been going through this process of upgrading everything from the wet carbon, which is the kind of entry level, to the pre-preg. And that's what this is. This is the CS spoiler in pre-preg carbon by Tyre. I think that once you see this on the car, you might think, oh, do you know what, actually, shall I waste my time? Or
you can put it on there, mate.
What do we think? What do you think? You can see why it's one of the most popular mods, without question.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to get the CS rear lip, this is actually a recommendation of BMW. They say that if you're going to go for the spoiler, you need to go for the front lip. Not my words, the words of BMW. So if I marry this up, this is just a shop clip, by the way. This isn't one that goes to customers. This is kind of a showpiece. Obviously, you've got the winglets there, which go with the side blades that BMW make for the M2. And obviously, yeah, it goes well with the rear spoiler.
Okay guys, done and dusted. The car now looks really complete. We've got the reflector overlays stuck on, which was a really easy job to do. So if you're ordering some of them, it's even I could have put them on, but I let Jack do it. Then we've got the lovely shark fin, which you can probably just see behind me there. Looks really good. Again, complements the other carbon bits I've got from AutoID on the car already. Really like that. And then unfortunately Jack really did flex my arm, twist my arm, whatever you want to say, and he convinced me that the CS boot spoiler had to go on. And once again, it's the same carbon as on the shark fin and the door mirror caps, etc. So it all just looks really good, all complements each other really well. So yeah, couldn't be happy with the car. What I need to tell you guys about is a competition that they're actually running down here where you can win £500 worth of AutoID vouchers effectively. Head over using the link below in the description, see if you can win yourself that £500. That competition actually ends this Sunday the 22nd, so you need to be quick. So head over there right now and enter it. I know it's happening as we speak. Make sure you're in with a chance of winning that, because if you do, you can then spend it on the Monday 23rd when their Black Friday sale starts, and that runs for a week. So many have used my affiliate discount code already over the past year. It's just JOE and then the number 5. If you please continue to use that for anything you buy from AutoID, you'll get 5% off. Or if it's during the Black Friday sale where they're obviously already discounting everything, you'll get yourself an extra special little surprise gift in there. Yeah, just as a little thank you really from both of us. So really appreciate the support that you've given me already and that you've given these guys. But as I said earlier on in the video, Jack's a very good friend of mine, and I love what he does. So yeah, please show some support, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon. Cheers.